Hello everyone, in today's video I'm going to talk about how to dub any material onto your thread. So whether it's something nice and soft, something more coarse like face fur from a rabbit, or again soft antron, or some maybe not obedient ice dubbing or whatever, even CDC, I'm going to talk about it. It's just a tip of an iceberg when it comes to dubbing, but I hope it will help you, and it will help you how to make more durable flies and better flies in some way. So I just have a hook in the vise, and let's talk first about dubbings. Dubbings, they come in different coarseness. It can be very stiff, very hard, so very difficult to dub around the thread because of its properties, or it can be very soft like underfur from some animals, or antron, or ice dub. So soft, oh yeah, another one, CDC, amazing stuff. So different things have different properties, and they ask for a little bit different approach, but basically what you need to do is you need to create a V in your dubbing and then dub it around your thread. This is just a basic way how to dub materials. So when I say V, what I mean is you take some material, you put it on your finger, and you press it against the thread. Same as my skin here forms this V shape or U shape, whatever. Same you need to do with your dubbing. So if you have dubbing like this and you press it against the thread, it will make V, obviously. Any dubbing will make a V unless you're like trying to dub a wire, thick wire, then it's not going to happen. But any normal fly tying material will do it. Even seal's fur, which is one of the most difficult materials you can try to dub this way. I would recommend using a dubbing loop for seal's fur. But let's just start and explain how I do those things. So, as I said, different dubbings, they have different properties, but what you want to do is you don't want meshed fibers together, which are difficult. Like, it's just not easy to dub a bunch of materials like this. If you put materials in a coffee grinder and you spin it for like a second or two, you will get this cloudy, fluffy shape that's like full of air inside. That's what you need in your dubbing. So dubbings that are in bags, especially heavily compressed materials, in like a lot of materials in a small bag, they're going to be more difficult to dub. So if you have a coffee grinder, just spin it for a while and then use it for your flies. But if you don't have, you can always do hand method and just pull those fibers apart and then dub it. Just prepare your materials and it's going to be fine. This is one of the easiest methods, and I use it always without any wax. But you need to pay attention to your hands. If your hands are dry, it's going to be super difficult. Sometimes I'll do the old-fashioned lick my finger way, and yeah, you can get some disease probably if your materials are not clean. For example, a roadkill. So I'm not recommending you to do that, but you can use that for money counting sponge thing next to you and just damp your fingers and do some dubbing. Now let's go into dubbing. Yeah, it's already like 4 minutes and I'm talking. So if you take more material, you'll get thicker dubbing noodle. If you take less material, you'll have thinner dubbing noodle and more durable dubbing noodle, remember that. But that thinner dubbing noodle won't be as buggy as the thicker one, so you can make a compromise over there. You can make a little less thick, but again not too thin, and then brush it out and so on and so on. There are like varieties of possibilities here. I'm not gonna get into all of them, but let's go into dubbing. What you need to do, as I said, you take a little bit of material, make it fluffy, press it against your thread. So as you can see, it stands on the thread even though I'm not like holding it, and there is no wax. So press it with your finger. Look at this. Press it, and then roll it and roll it until you get your dubbing noodle. Now sometimes you will notice that your dubbing noodle is not even. Now this one is, let's say, in kind of oval shape, thin on the ends, thick in the middle. What you can do, start, you get tapered body, and finish your fly. Or if you don't want that, if you want to taper all the way, you can just slowly add your materials where you want it, but by applying just tiny bits where you want it, directly on the thread or over your dubbing noodle. So as you can see, I'm doing it over dubbing noodle. I'm gonna create kind of tapered stuff here. So let's see what I get. So if you press more, you'll compress it more, of course. If you do it lightly, if you press it with your fingers just lightly, I will show you in a second, you'll get less compressed dubbing noodle. And that's it. You can brush out this and you'll get nice and beautiful body. Now, if you want to get something that's super buggy, super fluffy, okay, I'll just show you in a second, then do a little bit more material at the same time and do something like this. It's very loose dubbing noodle. It's very simple, so just follow one basic rule. Create V, roll it clockwise direction, and go on with it. Now, you can do it with, let me show you. CDC, just pinch out CDC here. So just go with it, press it, roll it, press it, roll it. And I'll get nice dubbing noodle. You can do it with ice dubbing. Again, small amount, press it, roll it, and roll it again, and you get a nice dubbing noodle almost immediately. Now you can use it with some squirrel dubbing that I made. Squirrel dubbing mix, that's a video that I made a while ago. Very small amount, press it against the thread, make that V shape, and roll it. And as you can see, you have a nice dubbing noodle, which you can slide over the thread, which is not so easy if you have dubbing wax. That's one of the reasons why I don't use dubbing wax. I mean, it doesn't help dubbing material, at least not in my case. Now, antron, same thing goes there. If you take a bunch of antron and you try to apply it immediately, it's not going to go that easily. But if you take a little bit of antron and just go little by little, it's going to interlock so well around the thread that it's going to be virtually almost impossible to take it off your thread afterwards. So you're going to make antron thread and just roll it around your hook. So it's that simple. Press it against your thread, create a V, roll it. Always roll in one direction. Never do this. Never rub it. Always roll, roll, roll. That's it. V and roll. V and roll. That's all you need. So guys, I know I haven't made any flies in this video. Hope you don't mind. Hope you like this video. If you did, please share it. Share it with your friends who are beginner dyers. I hope it will help someone. If it helps, make a comment down below and see you next week. Tight lines and all the best.